Pumpkinhead vs. Pinhead, Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes, is another Pumpkinhead movie, but now it looks a lot more modern with better picture quality, monster effects, and kills. So is Pumpkinhead 3 worth the watch? Let's talk about that.
Well, it's a big show.
Pumpkinhead 3 sees a town discover that there's a group of organ harvesters living among them. But they harvest organs from dead people they dig up, which just couldn't happen. Or maybe since the crematorium is a central location, it's possible they harvest the organs from the recently deceased, then chuck the bodies into a swamp and give the families a random jar of ashes. But I'm pretty sure that it's been abandoned, and then at the end they even have to try to get it fixed to get the stove working. You know what? I have no idea why they're doing what they're doing or how they're doing what they're doing. The point is, organ harvesters. So a blonde woman, Molly Jo, Molly Sue, M something, Blondie, she's with a group of townsfolk who for some reason gather around to watch bodies get brought out from the swamp and laid down in front of the crematorium, where they would stay for the rest of the movie. But whatever. Blondie sees the corpse of a little kid and goes, "Oh my god, what have they done to you? Ah." Then the OG witch comes, which she looks awesome in this, by the way. The effects are really good. And the witch is like, "Hey, who the hell took this corpse? This one's mine." And yeah, fair. Who the hell would have thought body buried in a very specific spot near someone's property? Yup, organ harvesters dumped it here. The person who brought that body was a dumbass. So Blondie goes to the witch and begs her to help, and later we see Blondie and a group go to the witch's cabin and get her to do her little Pumpkinhead revival ritual, with the beast sent out to kill those responsible for messing with the dead. Also, this Pumpkinhead is Ed Harley, who even makes a return in this movie. So this means that the events of Pumpkinhead 2 never really happened. Or at least, we're gonna pretend like they didn't. Whether or not it's completely retconned, I have no idea, but it does not get brought up at all in this movie. And the Pumpkinhead that does get revived is Ed Harley. So, yeah. So from here we watch as Pumpkinhead runs around killing people, which was great. I loved it. Yeah, there were some moments that dragged or that I didn't care about, but it was sick watching a new good-looking monster brutally kill his victims with much better picture quality. And things were slightly more modern feeling, which was pretty cool. I'm not opposed to older movies, obviously. I mean, shit, one of my favorite movies is The Omen from the goddamn 70s. But the quality of this movie, though very made for TV at times, felt like a newer release, which was cool in my opinion. I really liked that. But not everything took a bump in quality. Take the gore. Now typically I couldn't be bothered to talk about the blood and the guts specifically unless it looked really bad. I don't watch horror movies for the gore. However, one scene that really stood out was when the one guy gets impaled on the roof. His blood and guts looked weird, kinda solid, fuzzy, looked almost like insulation or dried out meat covered in some mold. I don't know how to describe it. Pizza toppings, kind of, I guess. It looked like shit. What you see come out of that man's stomach is not human. It is very much alien. It's not normal. And obviously the gore in horror movies isn't real, but it at least looks good. This shit, I don't even know what to call it. Just this weird, fuzzy, mossy shit. The material they used was awful. Cool kill, horrible gore. And staying on topic of the kills, at one point a dude realizes the doc, played by Doug Bradley, tried killing him. He looks at a needle on the floor, comments on it like, "What, Doc, you tried to kill me?" Then does nothing, and just goes into a corner and cowers. Dude could have done anything to it, but didn't. Because of this, Doc gets the needle, and rather than fighting him off or just lightly nudging his hand out of the way, dude just takes the poison. Then later, we see Doc and Blondie in a motel room. Both have guns, but they don't actually fire. Eventually, Pumpkinhead bursts in, and rather than going, "Oh yeah, I can kill Blondie to temporarily take down the monster," he goes, "Shit, I forgot everything I came here to do and forgot how to defeat the monster. Guess I'll just shoot at it for a bit." Eventually, he does shoot Blondie, though. And when he does, she coughs up blood, and for some reason, the blood she coughs up has a splash sound effect. Like this chick just coughs up a little blood, and it sounds like kids splashing in a pool. Obviously that's a bit of an exaggeration, but still, the sound effect they used was really not the right one. Anyway, while this is going on, the last surviving Pumpkinhead resurrector, who is a woman, I only point that out because I'll be referring to her as her. She, along with the second to last would-be victim, who is a dude, I'll just call him the guy, are in the crematorium. For some reason, like, I have not even the slightest clue why on earth she thought this would have done anything. They decide to burn the bodies that the harvesters used, because for whatever reason she thinks it'll stop Pumpkinhead. Then that dumbass is surprised that it doesn't work. By this point, Doc's in the crematorium. I don't know why he came here, he just does. He tries killing the girl, but the dude jumps in the way of the bullet, and it, doesn't really hurt that much, because bullets are imaginary, obviously. Then Pumpkinhead kills the doctor, which was fun, because the doctor kind of reminded me of Maynard from Wrong Turn 5, and I really disliked Maynard, so it was kind of cool watching him die here. It was like, yeah, you're getting what you deserve now, jackass. Pumpkinhead now starts choking the guy that got shot, and also the girl's boyfriend is here too. I didn't mention that because it's not important, but now he is, so yeah, important now. He and the next would-be victim are being choked. I guess they're now both potential victims. So the woman goes, I know what to do. I will crawl in the furnace and burn to death to stop it. Lady, you have no reason at all to think that would work. You have no proof at all. You don't even have the slightest little reason to think that you dying would kill the monster. None at all, but she does. I really don't know why she thought it would work. Her character had no reason thinking killing herself would harm Pumpkinhead, but it dies. She dies, the monster dies. 2 boys are taken away by 2 men in suits who randomly show up at the end, and the witch comes by to retrieve her new vessel for Pumpkinhead, the girl's charred corpse. Which we'll probably see in the sequel, I don't know. This is not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's got some really basic bare-bones characters and the story is just more of the same. It would have at least been nice to let Pumpkinhead win one. Let him get all his victims. I mean shit. I don't care if that final victim was the boy from the first movie. I don't care at all. The dude is an assistant to the evil murdering doctor. So even if for whatever reason I liked him in the first movie, bam, ruined here, because what's wrong with you? You're doing all this evil shit now. Why would I or anybody honestly care about him? I did enjoy seeing Ed Harley back, even if it didn't make much sense. So Ed from the first movie is in this. Occasionally we'd see him as a hallucination for the final victim, that kid from the first movie, but it adds nothing. But hey, I won't complain about more Lance Henriksen. His parts were pretty cool, for what little there was. Like that sick transformation scene, like something from An American Werewolf in London. Watching the rotten corpse turn back into Ed, and then watching Ed transform into Pumpkinhead was really cool. In the end, Pumpkinhead 3, Ashes to Ashes, is just more of the same. But unlike Critters, it's fun more of the same. Sure, it's got nothing unique going for it in terms of story, but I think what really helps the enjoyment of it is people like Doug Bradley or Lance Henriksen. There's also the much better picture quality. The monster effects look really good in this, aside from the bad CGI used at times, and its more modern feel just makes it a little more enjoyable. I think it's because it makes it stand out among the others. I think that's why. So again, it's more of the same, but it's fun more of the same. Personally, I'd watch it over Pumpkinhead too, and I know that I'm in the minority here thinking that it's good. In the end, I would rate 2006's Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes a 7 out of 10. If you've seen this movie, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it down in the comments below. From what I've seen online, most people hate it. I thought it was pretty fun. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.
Looking for more horror fun?
You're goddamn right.
Then check out the VHS comic book series, a parody of the horror genre that follows the lives of 3 teens as they fight to survive a horror movie, where every day is loaded with blood, boobs, and buds. The first 2 issues can be found in the description below.
I was obsessed with VHS.